Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. We do a flyby of all the good stuff. Goes camera skills. Call me Spielberg. Now, today rain has interrupted play. I'm supposed to be detailing the car, but you can wait till tomorrow. And I don't know if you can hear it. That's the British summertime. It's heaving it down. It's not pleasant. So I thought I'd do an impromptu video instead on a very controversial subject. Now let's just position this camera down here. And now the main point of this video: can you be a petrol head, a pure petrol head, a true petrol head, if you pick an automatic car over a manual gearbox for your main car? However you ask the question can affect the answer. And I want to talk about all the different points of this, guys. Now, so if you're picking your main car, it's your car, it's not a family car or something like that, where you're not so interested. For me, where I am in this point in my life, it has to be a manual gearbox. And the reason being is that the automatic cars, it's another thing that technology is taking away from you. As time goes by, more and more things are being taken away from us. And I think in the next 10, 20 years, we'll have speed restrictions built into the cars. Who knows? On certain cars, we'll have automated control, self-steering, self-braking. We've already got some of that stuff creeping in. As time goes by, we do less. Technology does more. To the point where driving is going to become something different. Just some real specific examples as well. You take this car here, this old E36 with the manual gear stick. It's a lot of this car is mechanical. The rack is hydraulic, so you can feel your energy acting on the front steering. When it's an electronic rack, it's measuring how much you move the steering wheel and acting that on the front wheel. So you've got an interface, an electronic interface between you and what you're doing. This has a fly-by-wire throttle pedal, so when you're pressing the pedal, you're pulling a cable, to actuate what you're doing. With a modern car, even the E46, the one up from it, it's an electronic pedal. So again, they can weight the pedal better. You're not having to pull the wire and all that sort of stuff. But you put electronics between you and what you're doing. And whenever you do that, you lose the sensation of feeling it. Okay? I'm not describing it too well, but that's one thing I really like about these older cars. There's less electronics, with the exception of the ABS and the ASC system. And you can turn the ASC system off. Now, the next big thing for me is when I run a car on a track. I've driven the automatic. The M140 was an automatic down there. For me, there's not enough to do. You really, without the gear change, you're really just sorting your lines out and sort of accelerating and braking and putting it in there. Doing the gear change on the flappy pedals, you don't even need to really do it. You can just let the gearbox do it. You're almost doing it for the sake of it. I know some people are going to argue against that. And yes, there's certain times when you want to get it into a different gear than the car won't decide to put in there. But there's not much in it, and that's only when you get to a very high level. Essentially, without the gear change, it's like you're missing something. They've taken something away from you, and you're just kind of driving around with one less thing. And the gear change is a big part of the fun of driving. And I've messed up a lot of laps around Goodwood because of the gear change and getting the wrong gear. But when you nail it and you get the gear change smooth, it's really, really nice. So definitely that's another big thing for me. Now, what are the arguments for picking an automatic gearbox? Well, the biggest argument, and the reason I did with the M140, is if you're using that car a fair old bit just for normal stuff as well, and you're in towns, you're going around the country and stuff like that, there's so much, don't swear, there's so much traffic everywhere that you're, in the manual you can be constantly changing gears and like rowing the car almost. So sometimes driving with an automatic, the fact that you haven't got to do that gear change makes driving easier, more relaxing and less tiring, which is absolutely true. And that's why on my family car, from now on in, it will always be an automatic, because I don't drive the family car for enjoyment. It's just about going somewhere, isn't it? So that's where I am. But apart from that, the question we asked the question: can you be a petrol head and pick an automatic? Because for me, the petrol head should always want that extra thing that they control, that's not being taken away from them and controlled by electronics and stuff like that, because there isn't enough to do. And that's the point that I wanted to put in the video, why I'm always driving manuals. So how do you feel about that statement? There's going to be a hell of a lot of people, probably about 90%. The way it's going now, guys, is the manuals are becoming less popular. The younger generations that are coming through that haven't grown up with manuals, I think, just want automatics. One thing I haven't said is, of course, the automatic gearbox is going to be faster. So if it's all about speed and you want to go around, you want to accelerate faster and stuff like that, then of course the automatic gearbox is going to be the way to go as well. But again, it's not about performance. It's not about performance for me. Modern cars, I've said before, are way too fast. 99% of people, including me, that could buy the modern performance cars that are coming out now, can't drive them fast enough. If you try and drive them at that level, you'll end up killing yourself. They're ridiculous. Without the electronics and all that stuff as well, you would be, very, very dangerous. You don't need that sort of power. Well, you shouldn't have that sort of power. So, where was I? So that's where I am. You can see I'm firmly in the camp of the manual. Have I missed anything out on the automatic? Are you a petrol head, car addict that won't go near a manual gearbox? And if so, what have I missed? What have I missed that makes you not want the manual experience in the changing gears? Because it's awesome. What have I missed? And I got a feeling that it will just come down to practicality. That it's your performance car is also your daily car, and you want the practicality of the automatic box. That's the only reason. But that is not a pure petrol head ethos, is it? The pure petrol head ethos is it's all about the drive. So I've said everything I need to say on this one, guys. Controversial subject as well, so don't feel like I'm throwing a grenade at you if you're driving an automatic, because I can only give you my opinion on what makes me tick. You'll know what I'm like anyway. So that's where we are on this video. Give me your thoughts. Can you be a pure petrol head if you pick an automatic over a manual? That's the subject of the discussion.
Holding on to what I knew, but the moment's gone. Where was I?